Hey everyone, this is Jason Owens for Campaign Sauce. Hope you are doing well today. We're going to dive into a very quick primer here, a very quick instructional video on how to connect your ChatGPT over to HubSpot and do a few simple things with it here just to kind of get started leveraging AI and HubSpot together. So very first thing here is that inside your ChatGPT, you will want to be on the Plus plan. So if you can see down here in the corner, I'm on ChatGPT Plus, and that allows you to connect apps. So you can see over here on the side, we have apps. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on apps, and it's going to bring up a list, of course, of all the different items that you can connect. And you just start typing in HubSpot, and you can see here that this is the HubSpot app. Of course, mine's already connected. What you end up doing here is, of course, it's just going to give you a button here that says connect. And I want to show you some screen captures that I took while I was doing this connection here. So I'm going to pop these up very quickly. So inside the screen capture, let's go for desktop. There we are. So here's the very first one that I found. So after I ended up clicking the connect button, I get a pop-up screen that then asks me to, of course, log into HubSpot. And anyways, HubSpot is doing its thing there in the background. I ended up getting this little spinning wheel down here. I got that for a couple minutes. In fact, it was so long that I thought, something must be wrong here. So I closed out the window and then went back and tried to reconnect again. And again, I'll go ahead and show you some more of these screen captures that I had. So here's the second one. So here I am. I've logged into HubSpot. The connector tool's doing its thing. And notice here that says currently granted 37. Well, the very first time that I tried this, I ended up saying currently granted was only 5. So it looks like it just takes a while for all of these different options to be toggled on. So again, just for me, for whatever reason, it took a minute. But you will eventually get to a spot where once you let that spinning wheel go a couple times, you'll end up seeing that it comes back to you. So I'll just show you what the very last one showed. Yeah, well, of course, that's the screen that we're on now. So you can click on the start chat. All right, so anyway, so that's the connection. I'm going to go down to a brand new chat here and just give you an idea of what you can do here. So you can see the plus sign right here on the side. So the way that I go ahead and toggle this guy on is I go down to more and I go to HubSpot. Right, so that turns on the HubSpot connector. And of course, I guess there are other ways that you can do that, maybe with the @ symbol. I've seen some people do like @HubSpot and then start typing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something pretty easy, such as create a new contact. No, let's try a company. Create a new company called, I'll just say Everlight Enterprises. So Everlight Enterprises, and we want to create a contact. And that contact is going to be Jane Everlight. And what you'll see here is now ChatGPT is going to start using the connection that we've made to start making this happen. So, of course, with the chat here, I could have added phone number and email and, done all of that to it. I could have listed that Everlight Enterprises was based in, whatever town. So you get the idea. So what's happening here, of course, is now we have these two guys are talking back and forth to one another. So you can say, hey, all right, do you really want me to create this contact named Jane Everlight? Okay, sure, I want that. CRM permissions, you have HubSpot right access. Okay, I'm going to check for duplicates. All right, so they didn't duplicate. Boom. So here we are. We're creating this contact. And of course, what we're looking for is we're waiting for the company here. So there we are. Create the new company, right? So manage the CRM object. Perfect. We just go ahead and click go. And then the last thing that we'll do here at the very end, once this guy ends up saying that it's done, is I'm going to ask it to create a deal, right? So we'll create some kind of, do not associate Jane to the company. Yes, I definitely want Jane associated to the company. So nice catch. So I didn't explicitly say connect Jane to this. I can link this together. So I'll say, yes, please link Jane Everlight, Everlight to Everlight Enterprises. And then I'm going to say, create a deal with Everlight for, I'm going to say it's $52,000 deal. For $52,000. The due date on this, let's say that this is going to be April 17th of 2027, and we'll do that. You know, something that's fairly pretty easy. So we should see a few things happen here. So Jane's going to need to be linked, so we should see that. I'm going to confirm the existing. Okay, so it's doing its thing here in the background. Okay, still working. So you'll see, again, depending upon which app you use, I know I've seen this same kind of prep and approval process go back and forth a few times. I've seen this not only in HubSpot, I've also seen it in Shopify. So I've seen it with a number of apps. So in general, this is kind of the state of things right now. It's just things going back and forth. All right, so looks like the company contact are confirmed. Okay, so it's still working, still doing its thing. And another thing that I noticed, if you go back to the one of those screen captures that I showed earlier, something kind of caught my eye here on one of these screen captures. If you look at this data here, it talks about you being in control, may introduce risk, data shared. What you really want to take a look on with this particular warning message here is that if your ChatGPT gets compromised, so if somebody out there grabs a hold of your password, guess what? They now also have access from a read standpoint or a writing standpoint. They can pump all kinds of stuff into your HubSpot. So anyway, yeah, keep that password totally secure there. All right. So anyways, here we have all the particulars here, and the idea is, hey, do we want to approve this? Yes or no? So I'm going to say, yeah, let's go ahead and approve of that. Okay. So then over in the background here, we should be able to see that everything's happening. So you'll notice here over in this other tab, I went ahead and had my HubSpot already logged in. As soon as we finish with this, okay, do you really want to create the deal? Yes, I do. There we go. So again, as soon as I have this finished up, we'll go ahead and toggle over to HubSpot on the back side. Okay, still taking its time, doing its thing. Okay, so now we're going to update that contact association. Yep, so we're adding Jane Everlight into Everlight Enterprises. There we go. All right, so it says it's all done. So let's pop over here to HubSpot and see what we have. Okay, so I'm going to look up Everlight Enterprises. So there's Jane. I want to go into Everlight Enterprises, the company. So we see Jane Everlight here. And again, had I specified an email or a phone number, you would see all of that pertinent details there on Jane's record. Notice, of course, that the contact record is associated here with the company. Perfect. Notice here that we have the deal. Okay, Everlight Enterprises went ahead and named it for me. There's the deal amount. There's the close date, right? So anyway, you get the idea. So that is, in general, how we end up doing some very basic things. There's more advanced things we can get to later, but some of the very basic things here inside of HubSpot, you can do straight through ChatGPT. All right, enjoy.